As you all know, Brad Stevens successfully locked up Jrue Holiday for a long-term deal, giving him a 4-year, $135 million extension. And we got some more news breaking down the real reason and the truth explained why Jrue Holiday has locked up long-term with the Boston Celtics, saying that he thinks that the Celtics are a long-term destination to win NBA championships, and he feels that the city is perfect for him. All of that and more on this episode of Celtics Digest. I'm Bruce Veliz. Without further ado, no shoutouts, no nothing. We're going to get into the news at hand right away. Make sure to grab a snack as it is going to be a jam-packed episode. But like I mentioned, Jrue Holiday at practice today spoke out about his contract extension, saying that he loves the city of Boston. He thinks that this is a fantastic spot for him and that he feels comfortable staying with this contract. If we want to look, as you guys saw not too long ago, roughly under 30 minutes ago, it has been officially official. Jrue Holiday signs that contract extension along his agent at the Auerbach Center. We have a great picture here provided by the Boston Celtics to discuss that. If we want to look as well, Taylor Snow came out and said that in an interview with Jrue Holiday, saying that Jrue Holiday says that he wanted to be here in Boston and he wants to win multiple rings. He feels that this is the place to do so, and I couldn't agree more with you, Drew. The Celtics have been heating up this year. Number one team in the NBA, best net rating of almost history in the NBA. Top 3 offense, top 3 defense. You get to play your style of ball, your style of play. No one gets to call you out, and you excel on both just the offensive and defensive side. Jrue Holiday has been fantastic. We went over his stats last video. If you missed that, check that out. But 15 points, around 5 assists, 5 rebounds, shooting his best three-point shooting in his career, a top 10 NBA three-point shooter, and the best from corner at 66% in the NBA. Absolutely fantastic stats out of a guy in Jrue Holiday. He's truly unlocked this new style for the Boston Celtics, very unselfish like Marcus Smart. And even though Marcus Smart, I feel like, would have been a great addition alongside Kristaps Porzingis if the Celtics were able to keep him and move off of Malcolm Brogdon in this deal, Jrue Holiday has that playmaking. He has that defense. He has that rebounding. And he has just that inability to be one of those hard-nosed defenders like a guy like Marcus Smart. And we basically just upgraded at the self-finish and a little bit of playmaking ability, which I think is absolutely fantastic. Diving a little bit more on Jrue Holiday on his signing with the extension, saying since he came here, it's only been love from the fans, from the organization, from everybody all around. He has appreciated the city of Boston, especially how Milwaukee did him dirty, letting him go, just chucking him away for nothing, for Damian Lillard to go force and win a ring when he was best friends with Giannis Antetokounmpo. Clearly upset him, clearly upset Giannis. When he went to Portland, he was able to find a deal, find an avenue, and Boston was that green pasture. Boston was that fantastic landing spot, and it has worked out for him on the stat sheet, but also off the court as well, forming great relationships with Derrick White, Kristaps Porzingis, everybody on this squad. Mark D'Amico says that also Jrue Holiday said that the process for negotiating and agreeing to an extension with the Boston Celtics was pretty easy. Yeah, I can't imagine. As a 33-year-old guy, one of the best defenders in the NBA, if a team that is pushing for a championship still offers me over $100 million on the table and says, we'd love to keep you locked up for around 3 to 4 years, I am signing that check happy as a grin ear to ear, and I don't blame Jrue Holiday. The Celtics came with their money right. They wanted to ensure they locked up Jrue Holiday. Didn't want to lose him at the end of this season, have him decline his player option, possibly go to a new team, have to, possibly throw a spur in the system for the Boston Celtics. They needed to lock him up, needed to retain him, needed to make sure he stayed with this squad long-term for the Boston Celtics' success. Because if we go for these playoffs this year, but also for championships in the future, having that grizzled veteran point guard is what the Boston Celtics need. Jrue Holiday also talked about on what it will take to win a championship this afternoon. And he says a little bit of luck, a lot of health, but a lot of mental fortitude. And Jrue Holiday is locked in. We also have seen him go with a little bit of an injury. That dead arm, that shoulder injury has worked back through it the last couple games. Was in a little bit of a shooting slump coming back for it. A lot of people were saying, just get into rhythm, Jrue, kind of figure it out, saying that if it was still bothering him to sit him out. But over the last couple of games, we've seen his shooting stats come back a little bit. And if he does play in tonight's matchup versus the New York Knicks, we don't necessarily know if he is going to go. We'll have to wait and see. I'd love to see him get in some good shooting run. Kind of word on that as well as we interrupt. The Celtics have a lengthy injury report. Probably going to be running the hospital Celtics out there tonight. Jayson Tatum, Kristaps Porzingis, and Jaylen Brown are available, but a bunch of other Celtics are on the injury report. As we keep diving in, though, Bobby Kravitsky, here's another tweet. He asked Jrue Holiday about the value of the peace of mind that comes from getting this extension done before the playoffs like he did with the Bucks in 2021. And Jrue had to say, I think so. To me, it was the most important was showing my team, showing the city where I was going to be locked in for the playoffs or after the playoffs, no matter what. And that's what you want to see. Jrue Holiday isn't just with this team to win a championship. Isn't with this team just to be here for a year and then go get another contract later on and go help out another team. He loves the city of Boston. He loves the people. He loves the fans. He loves the appreciation from the fan base and from the front office. And they have clearly shown it to a guy in Jrue Holiday. Yes, he's had to take some sacrifices of the offensive role as the 4th or 5th option. Isn't a 2 to 3 star like he was on the Milwaukee Bucks on teams like in the Pelicans in the past. But again, he's taken that role significantly and has been one of the most effective defenders on the Boston Celtics. As you guys can see, Jrue Holiday shies away from no defensive matchup. You want to throw Embiid out there, he'll go guard him. Wants to throw Karl-Anthony Towns, he'll go guard him. Want to give him Jokic, he'll go guard him. He shies away from no mismatch. Everything Jrue Holiday feels like he can lock up from point guard all the way to the center position, and they truly value that, and they can see that every night on the floor when he's out there giving it his all for the Boston Celtics. Holiday also said since he got here, since the situation, since he's been here, it's only been love, like I mentioned. So the city of Boston, not only them, but the organization has made it super easy for us to navigate and get through a tough time that was a bit stressful. Obviously, Jrue Holiday frustrated with the Milwaukee Bucks. They traded him after he came out and said he wanted to retire. Milwaukee Bucks wanted to retire after this last contract extension, and then he's in Portland, has to find a new home, has to find a way of life for his kids, find a way for his life, for his wife, find a way for himself actually as well to, be happy and be in a city he wants to be, but also playing meaningful basketball and also having a role. Doing that all was very difficult for him in the offseason, but now he has no worries about that. He's not going to get traded in the future. He has no issues. He's locked up with the Boston Celtics on a 4-year deal where the Celtics will value him very, very highly. And if we keep diving in, he also spoke up a little bit on our head coach, Joe Mazzulla, saying that Joe has definitely grown my game, grown kind of my vision and perspective of basketball, where every year I do plan to grow, but I think him being able to give me a different responsibility to look at the game differently, especially where they're players and the people that we have. I've never been on a team like this. So exactly, Jrue playing a role, a veteran role, a leadership role, a guy who takes a bunch of sacrifices, who has to see the game from a bigger stand-back eyes perspective. Let Tatum, let Jaylen Brown, let Kristaps Porzingis do their thing. Let Derrick White, if he's hot, cook up. But if you're hot, Jrue, keep it going. But if not, play that defense, play that free safety. Make sure your number one aspect is on the defensive side. Your mindset is on that side. Joe has been a fantastic offensive mind with the corner threes and helping out Jrue Holiday's three-point percentage as well, being less selfish, but also just on the defensive mind, being a great head coach, understands the perplexities of how the Celtics can run and can really work with Jrue Holiday working those intangibles. Like I mentioned, Jrue Holiday said once he knew he was getting traded here, this is the part of where he wanted to be, where he envisioned being in a great organization, being here for a lengthy amount of time, and being able to play along guys like JT and JB who will want to try to get more banners, more rings here. So again, Jrue Holiday is hungry. He got that first championship with the Bucks in 2021, and he wants another one. And if anything, he wants revenge. He wants to go through that Milwaukee Bucks squad, tear them up, eat that deer, and run with it away. He wants the Celtics team to be competing for future years, and he wants to be a part of that, structure. He wants to be one of those main ingredients, and Jrue Holiday for sure is going to be locked up for the long term with this squad. I'm ecstatic he's here for the foreseeable future. I could not want to see getting rid of a guy in Jrue Holiday. I know a lot of people are going to call it overpay. A lot of people are going to hype it up saying, oh, you're giving a $33 million guy over $135 million deal to a 33-year-old guy. He's going to be making over $33 million when he's 33. He's just going to age. He's just going to get a little bit older. But this is the thing you guys got to worry about. When Jrue Holiday gets up in that age, he starts turning 35, 36, 37, once he gets to those Al Horford numbers. He might be willing to take a little bit more of a pay cut, take more of a relaxation role, and step back for the Boston Celtics and be more of a bench guy, which could help out the Boston Celtics as well. He also has that he has the player option in his last year of the deal. I could not remember the name, but he can decline that in 27-28, take a pay cut for the Boston Celtics, and stay long-term if this team is still pushing for championships, if they're still looking for that greener pasture. But also, if he starts to fall off a little bit, if he starts to decline a little bit, the Celtics have a $35 million contract to move to get either multiple salaries to help out with this squad or one salary to help out with this squad with using some extra assets. So the Celtics are set up perfectly for the future, keeping Jrue Holiday. I do not think this will affect Derrick White. I still think that the Celtics have an entire offseason this year to extend him, plus the next season to guarantee him a deal. I know he's going to want the most money he can get, but if I'm the Boston Celtics, that's a guy I'm looking to nab up as well. And we've also seen with them getting some great pieces in Hauser, Kornet, Brissett, Tillman. All those guys have been locked up for the future. The Celtics are still in the second apron team. We'll be A-okay. There's no worries, no nothing. And if we do lose some of those guys, Brad Stevens has been a fantastic GM, grabbing guys like Tillman and Springer to be those Marcus Smart, now Horford replacements. I am not scared of Brad Stevens. The Celtics have absolutely cooked up over the last couple of days. Let us know what you think down below in the comment section. How ecstatic are you that we picked up Jrue Holiday for the foreseeable future, and how impactful do you think he's going to be for the Boston Celtics for the next coming of years? But as always, you guys always know, the last thing to talk about in the video is the comment of the day, and unfortunately, the images were a little bit glitched here, so I had to go back and get the comment of the day, repost it in here. So it's going to be a little bit bigger. It's not going to have that full-on background, but you're still going to get your deserved shout-out for being the comment of the day. And today's comment of the day goes to Shiv Patel, as he says that Brad Stevens deserves Executive of the Year. I don't care what anybody says. And I have to 100% agree with our guy, Shiv Patel here, as Brad Stevens has cooked up for the Boston Celtics. Let's not forget that this man traded Marcus Smart, who is a fan favorite, let's not get me wrong, Danilo Gallinari, Mike Muscala, and a bunch of second-round picks to nab Kristaps, Porzingis, and 2 first-round picks. He then used one of those first-round picks in the deal with Malcolm Brogdon, in the deal with Robert Williams, to get Jrue Holiday, but also used one of those first-round picks to trade back and trade back and trade back in the second round to nab Jordan Walsh, who they had on their big board at pick 25 and were able to take him at pick 38. Those second round picks that he did acquire from trading back for Jordan Walsh were not forgotten, though, as those picks were used to acquire guys in Xavier Tillman and were used to acquire guys in Jaylen Springer, who have been fantastic role players for this Boston Celtics core and could be great pieces to build for the future. Like we mentioned, Brad Stevens, this is just one offseason of him doing it. He's flipped guys for Malcolm Brogdon, then flipped Malcolm Brogdon to get Jrue Holiday. He's done wondrous things for the Boston Celtics, and I can't wait to see what he does with this future squad as we get for more and more championships. If we lose guys like Hauser, if we lose guys like Luke Kornet, guys like neemias, guys like Drew Peterson, those are those guys to replace him, to come in through the system, to be those replacements, and Brad Stevens' job is not done. He's going to be getting even better replacements for those replacements that he's using to replace. So, again, masterclass moves by Brad Stevens, has done a fantastic job. Like I mentioned, if you guys support the Boston Celtics, if you guys enjoy this type of content, make sure to hit that subscribe button as we try to get to 4,000 subscribers. We'll be having a live watch-along live stream tonight. The Hospital Celtics will be taking on the New York Knicks, but we will be here live, breaking it down. So if that's something that interests you, make sure to come join us. It will be a fantastic night tonight. Check out the other 2 videos linked up to the video. Check out our links in the description to join the Discord and check out their YouTube. I'm Bruce Veliz. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode of Celtics Digest, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.